If the holidays wrecked you this year, I need you to hear this clearly. They didn't break you, they exposed you. Because when the noise stopped, when the kids weren't there, when the schedule disappeared, when the foods, drinks, scrolling, and the distractions ran out, what was left was you. And that silence, that was loneliness. That was unresolved pain finally getting your attention. I know because I've been there. I've sat in a quiet house after Christmas, convincing myself I'm fine, I'm good, while my body told a different story. Tight chest, racing thoughts, old memories replaying like they're happening right now. And for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. But here's a truth that most divorced dads never get told. The holidays don't create your pain, they remove your ability to outrun it. And if you're honest, you didn't spiral because it was Christmas. You spiraled because you've been making minimum payments on emotional debt, and the bill finally came due. Today's episode isn't about shame, it's about clarity. Because once you understand what the holidays revealed, you can finally stop repeating the same year over and over again. Those of you that are wanting to help another divorced dad, something you can do, very simple. Subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. And it literally makes the algorithm go crazy. And you will help another dad. And that's a big part. So I just want you to think about that and thank you in advance. Before we go deeper, I want to have a quick ask. If this already feels uncomfortably accurate, that's why I want you to subscribe and help another dad. They need your help. I can only do so much, but you guys, just by doing those simple things, it's crazy what'll happen. It is 2026, and I am happy that you're here. I believe that there's something in here today that's going to change and transform your life. I think that most guys don't understand the importance of intentional listening. And so I want to challenge you as you listen to this to be as intentional with your listening as you are with your distractions, right? We can get really intentional doing other things. I want you to get intentional with your mind. I want you to get intentional about what we're going to talk about in this, exposing some of these things, right? The holidays didn't cause the breakdowns. They remove distractions. Your mind starts to think about things. The pressure is more than it's ever been. During these holiday times, your brain is getting more pressure, between 25 and 55% more pressure on your brain, which means it's harder to make decisions. It's harder to have clarity. It's harder to have vision. And that's why guys come to me. Because when you can't think clearly, you're not making the best decisions. Pain is like a warning light on the dashboard. You can cover it with tape, or you can pull over and fix the engine. So I want you to really think about this year. And I want to give you some concrete data, some concrete evidence of what's going on here. I'm going to give you some data here. Again, that divorce-related depression and substance relapse spikes November to January. There's a reason why you want to have another drink. There's a reason why you want to, grab something else to numb out, whatever it might be. Another one for you, just to know, I just need you to know what you're up against. I know it's hard. I know it's depressing. I know it hurts. I know all those things. But we need to first understand what the enemy is so that you can have a formula and a system to get through it, to grow through it. Not just get through it. I want you to grow through it. Male loneliness increases 40 to 60% during the holidays. Men are 3 to 4 times less likely to seek support during emotional stress. Guys and dads, you guys are really good at fixing things, right? We're really good. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Except when it comes to us. Then we try and figure us out. And that's the gap. That's the miss. That's the blind spot. Those dads that I work with that accelerate their growth, instead of focusing on everything else, they focus on themselves and those blind spots, because that blind spot is the holdback. That blind spot is the missing link. Rumination increases when structure disappears. This is a schedule loss effect. And that's why when I sit with guys and we talk this stuff through, it's absolutely critical for you to have a very clear system and plan and schedule for what's going on. Most men don't fall apart because they're weak. They fall apart because their structure collapsed. And I'll be the first to admit, I was slowly getting into structure in my life. And I'm a disciplined, high performing type guy. And if I look back at those times, my schedule, my structure was nowhere near what it was today. And it was simply because most of the time I wasn't challenged. I just was not challenged enough to reach higher and go bigger. It's like when you go to the gym, and if you ever had those workouts with guys that you're a little bit intimidated by, but you do the workout and you're doing it with them, and you know that like it's going to be harder than what you probably do, but you push through and you usually do a lot more than what you normally do. I can remember a specific moment. I was out of college. I was about 23. I was working out with a guy who was about 35, ripped. He'd grown up in the gym. And we finally did a workout together. And this dude was stacking plates of like 305. And I think I was probably more in like the 285 range. And, I'm with him. And I mean, for an hour and 10 minutes, we were throwing weight around. And I was throwing weight around that I never threw weight around before. That's iron sharpening iron. Dads, that's why getting somebody in your life, getting a group around you, putting those things down in the ground, putting a stake down, putting the schedule down, that's why it's so important, because those things sharpen you. Every dad I talk to, because when you come into this system, when you come into Divorced Dads of America, you're not here because you're a deadbeat. I don't work with deadbeat dads. I'm not here because you're a deadbeat. I'm here because you're a great dad and you're a leader and you've had some tough times. And we're going to revitalize that leader again, revitalize that dad. You are a superhero, and we're going to rebuild that story. So when I talk to dads, the moment I can talk to them for a few minutes, I understand, hey, they're a leader that wants to go somewhere. Let's get them there faster. You've had some losses. It's called a losing streak. That's called life. Now, if you've learned from them, it's never a loss. So there isn't really a losing streak. It's just a bunch of learning lessons. And I love the quote by Winston Churchill. It says, "Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." Great leaders, great dads go from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Why? Because they've learned, they've taken notes, they've adjusted, and they're going into the next one better, smarter, wiser. So I'm going to give you some of the neuroscience here of what's going on in the brain during this holiday moment. You've gotten through the holidays, maybe slightly damaged, hurt, in pain, toughing it out, staying busy. And I'm not saying staying busy is wrong. I just challenge what you're doing when you're staying busy. Is it staying busy because you're avoiding something? Or is it staying busy because it's aligned with the man that you're becoming? What you think about is what you become. Most dads I talk to, their future, when I say, hey, what does freedom look like for you? And they'll say, I don't want to be broke anymore. I want to have more time. I don't want to be, stuck to this. It's a lot of, I don't want to. I don't want this. I don't want is not going to create what you do want. The goal here is to create what you do want. Therefore, we need to speak what you want, not what you don't want. We want to live our life in faith and not fear. And fear is there and it's realized, and that's cool. And it's not going away. You're going to have to grow through the fear and go through the fear. That's what the holidays is for. And there's going to be another one. There's going to be another birthday party or another thing that, potentially triggers you. And I have a whole thing on triggering about what you allow to control your emotions. Nothing should control your emotions. The brain hates uncertainty. So here's some stuff in the brain we'll dig into, some lines in here, and then I'll give into just a coaching framework that we work through on the FAST system, how it actually applies to this specifically. Then I want to give you a few things that you can sit with and go through for the week, for the next couple days. And I'm going to give you a practical tool, a 10-minute inventory here toward the end, maybe even a couple questions that you can take with you and go. Because That's what we want to do. So I'll go through as much of this quickly. I don't want this to be a super long one because I want bite size. I want you to have like a 5x5 In-N-Out burger right now with what we got. So you got to understand your divorce is destabilizes safety and holiday removes the routines, the roles, and the identity cues, right, Dad? So that's what's happening in the brain. So the brain is offline under stress. You got to know that. It's like, many times when I'm watching TV and I'm streaming and for some reason my internet is weird, it just stops. I'm offline. I can't stream. I can't watch the movie. I can't watch the game. It's offline. That's what happens when your brain is under the stress. That's what happens when you're trying to figure out a future and all you're thinking about is the past. You're under stress. So what do? That's why people come to me. That's why they get in our group. If you're not in our school group, our free group, get in, start using the systems and tools, start getting a brotherhood, start at least getting into the water of what's going to change your life. Your brain didn't betray you. It reverted to survival mode. That's what's going on in the brain. And it's going on because you've had decades and decades of these wires that have wired you into fear, into doubt, into uncertainty. So I like to say it like this. You weren't failing. You were running outdated survival software. So what we're going to do is we're going to update. We're going to upgrade your software. That's what the school group does. That's what the ASCENT, it's what it's called, the ASCENT. I want you climbing this mountain of greatness, of the man that you're becoming. It's going to upgrade your life. It's going to upgrade your finances. It's going to upgrade your relationships. It's going to upgrade dad life. It's going to upgrade all of the areas that you need it to. So the FAST system works like this. What was exposed? We had holidays. So what was exposed? There's a loss of daily structure. I can remember just these little things, man, like waking up in the morning and having pancakes with the kids. It's gone. It's not there anymore. They're not with me. They're gone this year. I didn't have my kids this year for Christmas, right? So no pre-decided anchors. Those little memories that you have, those little moments, not there. Empty time equals mental free fall for most dads. I'm actually working with a client now where he is a high performer, action oriented, super intentional. And I actually have to challenge him on taking time off, sitting with his thoughts. What are they saying? What are they doing? Why? Because if you're constantly activated and charged in your mind never gets a break. And everybody's mind needs a break. And I'm not saying sleep is the way to do it. Yes, we need to sleep. We need to rest. But it's also being able to hear the thoughts in your mind. And I always suggest this, to not empty your mind, but fill your mind with God's word. Meditation, Eastern meditation, is about emptying the mind. God's word is about filling your mind with what he says about you, your identity, your real identity. So the FAST system starts like this. The focus is always aligning. What are you focusing on? What's gone or what's here? What you're missing or what you can get next? Focus determines your future. What you focus on is what you become. Faith is the other F in this anchor. And I always challenge dads, what does your faith look like? And how can it be stronger? I say to dads, hey, if we need to put another plate, if you're on the bench and we're doing 135s, I want to put another plate on. What does that look like for you in the area of faith? Some guys, it's reading their Bible more. Some guys, it's going to confession. Some guys, it's going to church. Some guys, it's going to a group. Some guys, it's taking more prayer time. Some guys, it's adding affirmations and declarations in their day. You've got to take a step back. And some guys, it's fasting. And I've had plenty of seasons and I still fast every single week. Why? I want to stack weight. I want to stack weight spiritually. Your internals will grow and the externals will fall in line. It's not the other way around. Accountability and awareness is in the FAST system. That's the A. So you got to know, no one knew how you were actually doing during the holidays because of the accountability factor. You probably didn't have daily check-ins with anybody. No man would call you out or just comfort you. Those are huge misses for dads. Like, oh, that's cheesy and that's lame. No, it's not lame, brothers. If you were out to battle, if you were out to war, if you were out in the field, I guarantee you would want to have a dude with you, another guy in line with you fighting the war. not by yourself. Scripture says 2 is greater than 1. Jesus sent his disciples out 2 by 2, not 1 by 1. Why? Because we need companionship. We need accountability. We need awareness. We need someone there when everything isn't going the right way. We need check-ins. If no one notices when you drift is inevitable. You will drift. You will not get to where you need to go. Addiction isn't the issue. Isolation is. You can do everything you want when you're not accountable. You can have a million blind spots when you're not accountable. Isolation is easy when you're not accountable. So the S and the strategy and the systems, when we talk through this, looks like this. You didn't fail because of emotion. You failed because there's no plan for predictable pain. When I sit with clients, we always identify enemies. What is the enemy to our life? What is the enemy to our goals? What is the enemy to our emotions? Why? If you don't know the enemy, then you do not know what you're playing against each and every day. That's as simple as it is. Once you begin to identify what those enemies are, then each and every day we fortify our life, our mind, our schedule, our words. Some of you guys, it's a tone issue. Great. That's an enemy. That's an issue. There's an anger issue. There's an impatience issue. Great. We're going to work on that so that your tone is never an issue. And I don't mean your tone, especially with your children. Patience. The holidays didn't surprise you. You just didn't respect them. You thought that you can just run on default and that your life is going to run the right way. It's not going to run the right way because you've never trained it to run the right way. You've never created systems to run the right way. You've just ran on default. Life is either design or default. If you don't design it, it will run by default. You walked into a storm with no jacket and you blame the weather. That's what you're up against during these holidays. That's what was happening. You know, the other week I was in Chicago. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. It was cold, man. It was cold. I live in Phoenix and, you know, in the winter, it's, 70, 80. It's great. And then went to Chicago and it was -7. I don't have a jacket. I don't own a jacket. I didn't own a jacket. I forgot to bring a jacket. That was cold. It didn't matter if I had a sweatshirt. Didn't matter if I had long underwear on. I was cold. I was not prepared for what was going on. That's what's happening in the holidays. That's what's happening in life. That's what's happening in this year. Unless you decide to change and say, I'm aware to it, I'm going to make a difference. T is transformation in the FAST system. Transformation. What are you looking at? What does transformation mean? What does it feel like? What does it actually specifically look like for you? Is it freedom in your finances? How much do you need a month? Is it freedom with your children? How much time? Is it freedom in your mind? What is occupying your mind during the day? Refinement doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in fire. So the exposure, we can take a step back, and I love Tony Robbins, the way he frames it, and he'll say, life is happening for you, not to you. You had this holiday season, and maybe it didn't go your way. It's happening for you. What are you learning? What are you growing through from this? Let me get into the practical tool because I want to send you off. It's a 10-minute inventory. It's an audit, and I'm constantly, aggressively, obsessively about audits in our life. Why? Because we don't do them. The only thing we audit is maybe our checkbook, maybe our finances being audited, but we're not being audited. Our mouth is not being audited. Our minds are not being audited. Our time with our children are not really being audited. We'll take a step back and be like, oh, it was pretty good. Well, what is pretty good? So let me give you a few questions here. Simple, brutal. I want you to get real with this. During the holidays, we're in January 2026. We just went through one of the toughest seasons for any dad. Question one, you'd ask yourself, where did I numb instead of feel? Question number 2, what pattern showed up again that I said was past? What pattern was showing up? 3, what am I avoiding dealing with because it scares me? What is the fear? Because once we get the fear out, we can attack it. We can strategize around it. We can smile at it. We can say, hey, thank you. Thank you, fear. Welcome aboard. I know exactly what to do. When people see fear, I liken fear to as you're driving down the freeway. I want you to imagine fear to be a signpost rather than something that is avoidance. So when I'm on the freeway and there's an exit I need to get to, when fear happens, that's the exit I need to turn on. That's where I'm going. Fear is a signpost. Fear is a guide. Fear is the absolute direction you need to go in. Number 4, who knows the real answer to these questions about me? Who knows the real answer? Number 5, what must change before the next holiday season? Or I repeat this. I would say even before the holiday season, what must change before the next birthday party? What must change before the next social gathering? What must change before something at work or something that was a monumental moment for you? Awareness is the first form of accountability. So, look, again, dads, if you want to help somebody, 2 things. 1, subscribe. 2, leave a review. And let's help more dads. Our goal here is transforming 1 million dads, their life in the next generation. And that's part of you. You say, oh, man, but I'm still going through it. You are still going through it. But you know what? 60,000 divorces every month. There's a lot of dads going through it. So let me give you a couple things, and I'm going to send you off. But I want you to think about these things in the next couple days. This season didn't set you back. It revealed what needs rebuilding. That's it. It's awareness. What needs to be rebuilt? Men don't change when life gets easier. They change when pain becomes undeniable. Many of you are going through this idea of the pain to stay the same or the pain to change. Change is the only thing that is consistent in this world. Jim Rohn says it like this: if you want to change, you need to change. You know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I believe that in this podcast, there's something that nudges you. It says, you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to do something that I've never done before so I can get results that I've never had before. I'm going to change my inputs so I can change my outputs. I'm going to change the ingredients so I can get a different product. When you're cooking and you got all these ingredients on the counter and in the kitchen, and each ingredient matters. Your inputs in your life matters. Your inputs into your mind matters. Why? It creates a different product. Don't waste what this season showed you. That's what I want to leave you with. Don't waste what this season showed you. Those of you that haven't followed us on Divorced Dads of America on Instagram, follow me. Drop me a message or a comment. I love to hear from you. What you like to hear, what you want more of. Those of you that aren't in our school group, just get in it, man. It's free. There's brothers around the country, around the world, and we're going to transform 1 million dads because of it. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you on the next one. God bless you.